Bobby Lashley, what have you done to deserve what you are about to receive? I was so scared about this. And after we saw it, there was good reason to be. It wasn't as bad as I had envisioned because almost nothing could be. And the finish, thankfully, was the right finish. But my God, have they given up on Almost? Have they said, okay, fuck it. We're seeing what everybody else is seeing. Let's cut bait and run. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, that suplex was interesting.
Okay, the way to have this match, in my opinion, would have been to not to have it. That's the only thing I can come up with because, yes, Lashley needs a win and needs to be his image rehabilitated somewhat after he got beat and then he was concussed and couldn't be in the Elimination Chamber, and he needs to come back looking good. But I feel like, number one, I missed something. He was still a heel and still with MVP when he got carried out of the Elimination Chamber, right?
In Saudi Arabia, that's right.
In Saudi Arabia. Did MVP get out of Saudi Arabia? Maybe that's what they're covering up. They're trying to misdirect us because where's MVP? He's still over there. They've got him tied up in a closet and they're pissing on him. Because all of a sudden this heel, the leader of the hurt business, the guy that's been hurt locking everybody, and MVP's his manager, and he's a heel, and suddenly he's gone and he comes back. MVP's nowhere to be found, and he's mad at Almost that we don't know whether they've ever even met, but they're pointing at the WrestleMania sign. What did I miss in Bobby Lashley's life that caused him to fire his manager and change his ways?
It turns out it was less a concussion than one of those situations in an old movie where someone bonks their head and they say, what's going on? What are these people doing here? Why am I living my life this way? I need to go back to who I am. And that's why there's no more Hurt Business MVP or good qualities to Bobby Lashley's on-screen character.
So what you're saying is somebody needs to take a ball-peen hammer and bop him again and it comes back. Then he remembers.
There's been no explanation other than he needed a match, want to get him on the show, he's healthy enough. We have nothing else for Almost. Let's get him out there all of a sudden as a babyface. There was no turn, it was just he appeared weeks after he had previously appeared as a different person.
Okay, on the other side of the coin, Vince McMahon loves giants. He loved Andre. He loved the Big Show. He loved Mabel at one point. He loves big guys. And obviously, they have overprotected Almost to the point where he has been impervious to anybody and just lays waste to people, handicap matches, whatever. The only way that I could explain this match and finish is if Vince has decided, you know what? Not only is he not any good, he ain't going to get there. Because the Vince McMahon that I knew would never have beaten a giant like that with the build that he's had unless he had soured on the whole thing. I mean, I know when his dad got Andre had already been in the business, 7, 8 years. And he knew how to work, and there wasn't the odd just standing around that lost that Almost exhibits, but everybody had to know he would be a project. So perhaps this project has come to an end.
What giant has Vince McMahon gotten right since Andre? Giant Gonzalez was put into a furry bodysuit.
Well, but now
he was already limited physically with what he could do. No,
yeah, you can't.
You bring in the Giant, the Big Show from WCW. They immediately gave him a stupid name and took whatever energy he had coming off WCW TV, they got off him pretty quickly.
Right.
And
but
he
now
floundered for years.
You can't blame anybody on Giant Gonzalez. Poor Jorge. He was a wonderful person, but that was unsalvageable. But go ahead.
If I went to you or Bill Watts or Eddie Graham, not to put you in their league, but you get what I'm saying. If I went to any of you and said, hey, I got this guy, he's 8 feet tall, he can't do anything, he can't talk, taught him to do a few things, is there anything you can do to hide everything and get a payoff out of him?
Yes.
Well, they didn't do that.
No, they haven't done that. But it's called stealing a pay-per-view or stealing a house or stealing a gate. We've talked about it before. Somebody that's that visual and that size, don't even put them in matches. Just have them walk out and fucking pick somebody up and throw them away 3 or 4 weeks in a row, and then get them involved in somebody that has somebody that has enough experience to get by with something short and sell tickets to it. And the idea is you're probably not going to see that fucking Giant again.
So again, going back to my question, and there's been others, Giant Silva, there's been Dabo Kato, there's been various other people throughout the years. Great Khali. What Giant has Vince McMahon ever done right or booked right or done anything really smart with since Andre? Because even the Big Show has been nothing but missed opportunities to me for a long time.
Yeah, you got me there, I guess. Well, anyway, almost made it, but here was this match. I sat down, I started watching it, and I was waiting for something to critique, and it was some flat-footed punching and almost squeezing Bobby Lashley's head. I'm squeezing your head. I'm squeezing your head. And then at one point, Lashley's in the corner and almost charges in and ran right past Lashley and ran into the turnbuckle on his own accord. And Lashley's like, where the fuck did he go? And then they set up to do it again, and this time Bobby moved in the same place. Bobby moved. It was like take two. And then poor Lashley, he got to make a comeback on the guy while the guy was leaning over the top rope, looking like he was trying to puke over the top out onto the floor. He was just leaning over the top rope, and Bobby Lashley is hitting him in the back. That was a comeback. And then Lashley tried to put the hurt lock on him, but couldn't get it. And I actually wrote, where is Giant Gonzalez? Almost picked him up in a fireman's carry and just didn't drop him accidentally, but just dropped him. That was a move, I guess. A long bear hug. A snap suplex by Lashley onto Almost. So right there, I mean, it wasn't a vertical suplex, but still, if you're suplexing the 7'4", 400-pound Giant, his time is coming near. And then finally, I've seen this twice now, and I don't understand it. A spear to the back. I saw it in this match, and I saw it in Reigns and Brock. Wasn't it Reigns and Brock? Or was it, it was Reigns and Brock. Well, anyway, Lashley speared the Giant in the back, and and then he hit him with another spear in the front. 1, 2, 3. Thanks for coming, Almost. If the object was to get Bobby Lashley a good win, this was not a good win. It was a win, wasn't a good one. Lashley looks worse than he ever has by working with this guy who can't do anything. And if the object was to bury Almost, well, I guess they did that. Explain this one to me, Lucy.
Well, again, I can't explain it, and going to my previous comments about Giants, I can't say that this is for sure the write-off of Omos or not, because they booked Giants poorly. Almost lost, went off his feet. So I guess that's it with him and Lashley. I don't know what they're going to do with him now, and if they just put him right back with MVP and make him a heel again, then what was the point of this whole thing? So they can't be doing that, but otherwise, why not keep MVP? He's one of the best talkers they have. Night 2 wasn't great. And at times it was awful. And it was a string of just a multi-man match and this. You were just waiting for things to kind of get going, and it took a very, very long time. It took an old man taking a stunner for it to happen.